Is there a Christian revival underway in Britain? Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Rev Dan. I'm a vicar in the Church of England. On this channel you get my views as a parish priest on all the big Christian news coming out at the moment. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment and share it. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. So Justin Brierly, author and broadcaster, wrote an article in The Spectator with the headline, "A Christian Revival is Underway in Britain." Is there really a revival happening in Great Britain? Well, in my last video I talked about the opposite, where I talked about Christianity being erased in the public square. You can watch that here. But Justin Brierly says in this article that he went with Tom Holland. He was invited to attend a service of evensong with him at London's oldest church, St Bartholomew the Great. And he says Holland, who co-hosts the phenomenally popular The Rest is History podcast, has been a regular congregant for a few years. He began attending while researching Dominion, his best-selling book, which outlined the way the first century Christian revolution has irreparably shaped the 21st century West's moral imagination. It also recounts how Holland, a secular liberal Westerner who had lost any vestige of faith by his teenage years, came to realise he was still essentially Christian in terms of his belief about human rights, equality and freedom. He goes on to say, "I also believe Holland's journey reflects a wider turning point in the secular tide in the West, a phenomenon I document in my book, The Surprising Rebirth of Belief in God," which is linked down below if you want to get that. The new atheists of the early 2000s, led by Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, Christopher Hitchens and Daniel Dennett, predicted a utopia founded upon science and reason once we had abandoned religion. But their best-selling books proved to be full of empty promises. All that our post-Christian society has delivered so far is confusion, a mental health crisis in the young and the culture wars. It's not surprising then that a movement of new theists has sprung up. And it's true, I remember the new atheists coming out and it was the big, Christianity is going to be destroyed and we're going to, show a new, better way. But as always, for the past 2,000 years, every time somebody's tried to do that, Christianity has prevailed. And as we move into society now, and this is 10, 20 years later from the new atheism, we are in such a state, people saying that whatever sexuality they are, people saying whatever gender they are, you can live the life you want, you can be the person that you want. It's, and people are so lost, people are so lonely. We're more connected now than we have ever been before, and yet people are more lonely than they have ever been before. There's a mental health crisis in the young males committed suicide at a rate that has ever been known before. And that's, for me, well, of course I would say it as a Christian, but the abandonment of Christian values adds to that. People are they're looking for something. And what atheism did and new atheism did was saying it wasn't Christianity. So where do you look? Well, you look to yourself, you look to other people. Well, we're all broken. Christianity tells us that. And they were looking in the wrong places. But now people are coming back and saying, is there something about Christianity? Influencers such as Joe Rogan and Douglas Murray are increasingly talking about the value of Christian faith and the dangers of casting it off. The former new atheist, Ayaan Hirsi Ali, has been praising the virtues of our Judeo-Christian heritage after becoming convinced that secular humanism cannot save the West. The women's rights campaigner Louise has been advocating for a return to traditional Christian morality since writing her book, The Case Against the Sexual Revolution. The evolutionary biologist Brett Weinstein often describes religion as metaphorically true. Secular psychologists such as Jonathan Haidt and John Vervaeke have written extensively about the value of faith in the midst of a meaning crisis in the West. Another significant voice speaking about the virtue of Christianity is the psychologist Jordan Peterson. In November, I attended a lecture by him at the O2 Arena. As he often does, he pointed his vast audience of mainly young men back to the Bible as a source of deep wisdom about the human condition. And it's so true. So many people now are speaking online about Christianity and the Christian faith. And that's because atheism and all these other thoughts and ideas have been found wanting. And yet, because Christianity is true, and over the past 2,000 years, no one has been able to disprove Christianity. and God is real and Jesus is real, and all those things that we know. It's attracting so many people. Even Russell Brand is saying now he's a Christian and wants to be baptized. You know, big prominent stars that we have seen on our TV and online are now starting to come and looking how crazy the world is and going, there is something about Christianity, as I said before. He goes on to say, C.S. Lewis wrote, if you read history, you'll find that the Christians who did the most for the present world were just those who thought the most of the next. And that's hugely important as well. Everything about the world today, and for people who aren't Christians, is about now. It's about what they can get. It's about their status, their fame, you know, their job, or whatever it is to them. It's about them and now. Whereas for Christians, and the real most active Christians, is about focusing on the next world, the world to come, heaven. You know, we say we're not of this world. We're in this world, but not of this world. We no longer have citizenship in that sense of this world. Our citizenship is in heaven. It's a place that we are going to. And so that takes away a lot of what the world has to offer. We don't want what the world has to offer. We want what God is going to give us. And that makes a massive difference. When people see that in us and they see something different because we are living by different values, we're living by the values that we get from the Bible, from our Christian faith, and not of the world. You know, we don't need to promote ourselves. We don't need to say that we're the best. We don't, because we are seen in the eyes of God, and God loves us. And that's, to be honest, that's enough, isn't it? That's enough that we are known by God and loved by God and that we know Him. And so that really intrigues a lot of people. We don't need what the world offers. We've got already what God offers. If a conservative-leaning intellectuals only cosplay a Christianity, Tom Sullivan phrase, without really believing it, then this new theist movement will inevitably fade away. Co-opting Christianity in the cause of an anti-woke agenda or in order to fend off radical Islam turns it into a useful political tool, but drains it of its life-giving power. A Christian nationalism of the right will become as pallid and pointless as the Christianity of the progressive left that parrots the latest politically correct talking points, which is true. Unless we have a true Christianity, not caught up in the politics of the world and the agendas of the world, then it will just fail. I like that, co-opted Christianity. We can't have a co-opted Christianity saying it's the answer to the woke agenda that is going on. Christianity is different from that. Yes, it is an answer, but it's a very different answer, because Christianity, faith, God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit changes our lives from the inside out. And if it comes too much of a political movement in that, yes, we have our leanings, it will just fizzle out, and the true meaning of Christianity will be lost. There's such a danger that Christianity becomes an answer to something that's going on in the world without people finding the true answer, the true meaning of what it's all about. However, they say God moves in mysterious ways. As a believing Christian, I see signs that He is moving in the minds and hearts of secular intellectuals. Many of them are recognising that secular humanism has failed and, against all their expectations, seem to be on the verge of embracing faith instead. Some have actually become Christian. The author and poet Paul Kingsnorth surprised his readership when he announced his conversion in 2021. Russell Brand is now calling himself a Christian and says he plans to get baptised. Ayaan Hirsi Ali says she embraced Christianity after realising she was spiritually bankrupt. The tech pioneer Jordan Hall recently went public about his conversion to Christianity. Significantly, both Ayaan Hirsi Ali and Jordan Hall have mentioned the influence of Tom Holland's thesis that Christianity is the foundation on which the ethics of the West sits. Which is true. These people are searching. Everybody is, in one way or another, searching, and they've only come up with the answer. These are intellectuals. They think about far more things than I think about, and they've all been found wanting, and they've come and found Christianity, and now they're converting to Christianity, and that is absolutely amazing, and it will challenge those other people who are following them to look into this. So that's the way God can move as well. Absolutely, there could be a new revival through these people who have massive influence coming to realise that Christianity is true. Where this movement is headed remains to be seen. The statistics show an overall picture of continued decline of religiosity. Church-going in some denominations has been in freefall for decades. Yet one recent piece of research has given me pause for thought. In Finland, church attendance among 18 to 20-year-old men more than doubled between 2011 and 2019. The same uptick applies to their prayer habits and belief in God. The stats just might be a weird anomaly. This hasn't been recorded in any other Nordic countries. Or it may be a canary in the coal mine. And God is moving in the world. People are coming to faith. In Norway, that's the first one that I've heard about. But in the Middle East, so many people, so many men, in fact, are just having dreams about Jesus and coming to faith. It's amazing. It's dangerous for them with their Muslim beliefs, but they can't deny Jesus. Once Jesus comes to them, God is moving in the world. And Justin Brierly finishes. He says, as a Christian, I believe things that are dead can come back to life. That's the point of the story after all. As G.K. Chesterton wrote, Christianity has died many times and risen again, for it had a God who knew the way out of the grave. And that's amazing. I love that. Again, the first time I've heard that quote, but an amazing quote. Exactly. And in all of this, God is in control. God knows what he is doing. He knows what is happening. And so even if the world is so secular, so woke, so political, so lost at the moment, God knows. And he has us. He has us as his hands and feet, and the church needs to rise up more and go out. Christianity is the only true answer for a world that is sick and in need. That's why Jesus came to show us a better way to help people in the mental health crisis, in people who don't even know what sexuality or gender they are in the morning, let alone in the afternoon. Christianity gives certainty and it gives the answer. And so it's for us as Christians, as the hands and feet now in the world, to go and help people to find something that is certain in the uncertainty of their lives.